is the Black Shift Group podcast. Our mission is to create space to elevate, enrich, and expose individuals of color to ideals and concepts that they may not have been privy to. This is your girl, Young Ree.
And I'm your granddad, and that's all relations. This podcast is just real conversations with real people.
We're going to be discussing lifestyle topics such as overall health and fitness, finances, culture, decode some media, and so much more.
After all, no one really knows what they're doing, so let's just wing it together.
All right, so let's get into it, y'all.
Yeah. Welcome back to the Black Shift Group. How you doing, Young Ree? Oh, shoot. She ain't with us today. Nah, it's just me today. We decided to do something a little different, you know what I'm saying? We gonna do our little solo things, and I want to let you know that she's still around. She's just not gonna be on this episode right here because the week before she had her own little solo gig. So I'm gonna go ahead and talk to y'all about some stuff that I wanted to get off my chest. But before I go ahead and do that, I want to say that to anybody who's listening, and I know a few of y'all listening, if you want to come on the Black Shift Group and, you know, chop it up with us and talk about these ideas, man, holler at us on our social medias at the Black Shift Group. Drop a message. If you follow us on Podbeam or on YouTube, drop a message. You know what I'm saying? We can link up. We can get on here, these discussion boards, because sometimes, you know, not everybody think the same. So we want to get that diverse group going. So I know a few people. Don't make me call you out, because I'll call you out. You know what I'm saying? So holler at your boy. Holler at Ree, because we want to bring y'all on and we want to chop it up, especially if you're a young entrepreneur trying to come up in this year world. You know what I'm saying? Hey, young world, if y'all trying to come up, just holler at us. But just to get into the meat and potatoes of things, man, like this, I've been in a good space these last 2 weeks since the last time you heard me and Ree together on a podcast. And I kind of had some soul searching. I've been out in the wild getting my Bear Grylls on, and I just been, you know, living my best life. You know what I'm saying? Living your best life don't necessarily mean you got to be out here taking trips across the world and flogging money and being, you know, driving around in Benzes and stuff like that, man. You just do things that make you happy in a sense. But for me, being in nature is like a mental reset. So I've been hitting the nature trails up a little bit, you know, doing my thing. And it kind of brought me to the conclusion of something. What really makes people happy and what makes people drive. I realize that a lot of people base their drive and their motives off of how other people perceive them. So it's kind of crazy that I sat back and I thought about something. I thought about when me and my mom had this conversation. She said, you know, you had enough jobs for 3 lifetimes. And I thought about that. I was like, damn, you know what? I kind of did have a lot of jobs, you know what I'm saying? I had a lot of great career fields that people, you know, say, you know, I wouldn't mind doing that. And I kind of walked away from all of them. You're talking about decent paying jobs that in the end could be very lucrative. You know, we're talking about jobs with pensions. You know, when you work a certain amount of years, you get a pension after you retire. I had jobs like that. And what took precedent over that was my happiness. Because what you don't realize is, as a creative, I believe I'm a creative. I believe Young Ree is a creative. Most definitely. That people in places kind of block your creative juices. Like it boxed you in. And I felt definitely boxed in those situations, you know. So I had to take a step back, put my focus before anything, my happiness before anything. And what I did was I wound up taking a lesser role, you know, making lesser money just so I can do the things that I like to do. I worked in the medical field. I drove trucks. I did personal training. What else I did? I did a lot of things, a whole lot of things. And I'm glad that I did it because these are all things that I wanted to do at some point in time in my life, but it made me realize, like, this ain't me. Like, I don't like to be dependent on a situation or a job to, you know, I have to continuously do it. Like, oh yeah, I'm stuck at this job. I need to get this paycheck. Like, anybody who know me know I'll leave a job quick. Me and my boy Bub, we got this group called the Quit Job Boys, because we quit jobs like it ain't nothing. And I'm not saying that's a good thing. It's just that with me, I know the worth of my life. And I feel like with my life, I have to get as much of it as out of it as possible. And if I wind up failing, that's just on me. Like, I don't mind failing if it's me understanding, like, okay, well, I tried. Versus me just having a good job and just saying, like, yo, like, I'm going to depend on this. I'm not going to move. I'm just going to do this. Like, I want to be able to move around. You know what I'm saying? I want a good check, but I also want to do something that's going to make me feel good. And I feel like a lot of people are just satisfied with just working at a great job as far as, like, pay-wise, but doing the shit that they don't like to do. Like, there's a lot of people doing that, and I really don't like that type of mentality. It's like a end-all mentality, and I don't really rock with that. But in a sense, it just all falls back onto what makes you happy. I feel like with me, I just want to be free of conscious when I'm doing things. Like, I realize that there's a lot of things that I like to do, like painting. Like, I really like painting. Like, I used to do this shit a lot in college, and I stopped doing it for whatever reason. And I'm just now getting back into that. Like, I like the gym a lot, but it's not one of those things like the forefront of my passions. Like, I got my personal training license. I thought that was the thing that I wanted to do, and I wound up doing it, and it wasn't what I wanted. You know what I mean? I feel like people should take heed from me. Don't quit your job. No, I'm not telling you to do that. No, definitely don't do that. But you should put yourself into place to actually do certain things that you like to do and see how that works out. I feel like a lot of people don't take the necessary steps to do things that they like to do. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of things that you can get into that could be lucrative to you as long as you put that work into it. Like, for instance, Young Ree wanted to do the podcast, and what she knew it took the first step, investing and getting the stuff together and then putting that mindset in, like, I'm going to do this. And she knows in the end, it could be lucrative, but she wanted to do this as something that she loved to do. It was mostly a passion to get on here and speak what she's been going through because there's people out there that can relate. So that's kudos to Young Ree. That's real. That's coming from your boy. You know what I'm saying? So with that, it's just like you gotta take those steps, those necessary steps in order to prosper in things that you like to do. Because again, there are certain things that you may like to do that can be lucrative. You can do what you love for a living. You know what I'm saying? If you do what you love for a living, you never have to work a day in your life. That's an old quote, and I live by that. I feel like there's a lot of things that I like to do. Shout out to Jew working on projects, man. Like, he kind of inspired me a little bit, and shout out to my homegirl, Alexis. She inspired me too, and like they both like fashionable, but Jew be working on projects. Like, he really be doing this art thing, like, and it kind of motivated me. Like, dang, where did I go wrong at? Because I was into that type of stuff, man. I was into that field, you know what I'm saying, to the artsy community and all that type of stuff, and I just kind of fell back and was like, yeah, I don't really care no more, because I guess when I went to school and did it, it kind of turned me off to it because it was so complicated. Going to school for something like art and painting and all that stuff, it was hardcore, man, because I remember in one of the projects I had to do, I had to turn a lemon into a Bugatti. Like, I know you're probably like, what? Like, I had like 5 pieces of paper, and I had to show the transformation of a lemon turn into a Bugatti. And you couldn't just, have a lemon and then all of a sudden it just turned into a Bugatti. You had to show the in-depth transformation within 5 pieces of paper. So stuff like that kind of was like, man, like, this is a waste of time. Like, this is really turning me off to this whole, drawing and being a creative as far as painting goes. But it's just, Drew and Alexis, they definitely turned me up again because now I'm kind of like on my little fashion tip, and I'm starting to get into the arts thing again. I got my notepad back out, and I understand that for them it's lucrative. Like, for Alexis, it's gonna be lucrative because she's just not starting off. But for Drew, he really working on project. He working with Nike and all of them. So shout out to them too, man. Like, those are 2 people who definitely inspired me to reach into what I like to do a little bit more. And so did Young Ree, because Young Ree put this together, and it's amazing. It's amazing how this turned out. So in a sense, I know a lot of people who listen to us that I know personally. They are on the bridge of going upwards with their projects. And I just want to say, continue to do it. Like, I had a conversation. I'm not going to say your name on here. I'm not going to say your name, but if you listening to this, you know who you are. They slid in my DMs, and it wasn't on no flirtatious stuff. Because I know every time people think about sliding in DMs, they think about some, oh, let me get at you type stuff. But this young lady came into my DMs. She showed me something about somebody taking her ideals. And, and I broke it down to her. I was like, don't ever let nobody taking your ideals deter you from doing what you like to do, because they can take your ideas, but they're not going to present it how you present it. They don't have that swag how you got it. In the words of Young Reed, that swag. They're not going to present it to you. They're not going to present it to the people how you present it to the people. You know what I mean? Like me and Young Reed talked about this too. We had some people who were trying to be like us, but then I had to tell like, yo, no, they trying to look for that connection that me and you have, and they can't bring it to. They can't bring the concept of what we think into they podcast. They see us and they trying to do what we do. They can't do it because me and you are unique, and I kind of felt like that too. So with all that being said, I don't want people to be deterred from going after your goals. That's what all this was pretty much about, this little story. But I just don't want nobody to be deterred. I feel like if you have the opportunity to branch out and take a leap of faith, take a chance, then definitely go for it and do it. Like, ain't nobody stopping you but you. But I want to say, I know a lot of people have kids, and make sure that it's the best situation for you and your kids and not just you. Like, for someone like me or Young Reed, we could maneuver however we want to maneuver, because in the end, it doesn't hurt nobody but ourselves. Like, if I quit my job today, all I have to worry about is myself. I got to make sure I eat. And I can go a few days without eating, you know what I mean? But still, I feel like people should take more of a chance. And if you have kids, you just make sure the chance that you're taking is not too great of a risk versus a reward. Because the risk is very important, especially if you have lives to take care of. But in a sense, man, I've been rambling on. I'm just telling you, like, I really want y'all to get into the habit of doing what you like to do. There's too many depressing people out here. There's too many depressing people out here. You get up and go to work, and I'm one of those people. I'm not saying my job is terrible, but it's one of those things where it's like I don't really like enjoy it. Like, I don't get up and be like, dang, I'm about to go to work. I'm gonna have a good time. You know what I mean? Like, it's like I'm about to go. It's cool. Like, I ain't tripping. But it's just like, yo, like, I'm getting up. I'm about to go to work. Like, I want to be like, yo, I'm getting up. I'm about to go do this. I'm about to ball out today. You know what I'm saying? I want to feel like, you know, like when I go to work, it's like a happiness. And I know people who live like that. I know people whose job is amazing to them. Like, they get up and look forward to going in. I got a friend who I'm very close with. I'm not gonna say her name. Like, I don't really want to say people's name because I feel like that's an invasion of their privacy. But I had this one friend who she loves what she does. She enjoys it. Like, it works for her. So you know how that goes. It's just like you want to do what you do for a living that you love to do. And with that, it's amazing. It's envious. I envy that. But to be real, I had something else I wanted to talk about. I'm going off the dome. Like, I'm all off the dome with this right here. I know there's a lot of people who like to base, you know, and this could tie in back into what I just said, but I know a lot of people who like to base status off of, you know, what someone can provide to them. And this whole I don't care, man. We just talking right now. I'm just rambling. It's all crazy, you know me. I don't care. But yeah, this is a whole totally different thing. I tried to relate it to make it seem like I wasn't just rambling on, but shoot, we passed that point by now. But yeah, this week or in the last 2 weeks, man, I've been having a lot of conversations about what people provide. I feel like people are too wrapped up in what someone can give to them versus the actual person. Like, okay, well, this person have things, and I want to have things too, so I'm gonna rock with this person. Like, this is a whole different conversation, man. Like, if you basing what someone has, if you like someone based off of what they have, then you're looking at things a wrong way. Like, I realize in this day and age, having things is what's most important. Man, shoot, can I relate this back to what I just said? I'm sorry, I'm like in 3 different places. Can I relate this back to what I just said? Forget about it. But anyway, I'm gonna keep going. Yeah, people these days like to base whether they like you or not based off of what you have. I guess it's like that old rap song in the 90s said, having things is what's most important. Like, people like you based on what you have. You know, what can you provide? You got a nice car. You know, I want to mess with you. I'm going to mess with him because he got a nice car. He got money. He got an iPhone 10. He can give me this. He can give me that. Or she got her own crib. I ain't got no place I can stay with her. You know what I mean? So it's like, I realize people base a lot of things off of having things. And this does kind of relate back to it. I don't have things. I'm gonna be real with you. This does relate back to what I just said about doing what you do for a living. Like, I know what I'm doing for a living is like some bum shit. Like, I'm gonna be real with you. Like, I want to paint and enjoy nature. Like, you don't see that being too lucrative unless you're sponsored by like a major company who endorse that type of stuff. But for me, I don't care. I really don't care. Like, I don't care if I don't have what you deem likable. Like, oh yeah, you can't pay my bills. You can't. Your happiness don't translate to me having something. Like, I don't care about that, man. Like, you can keep all that to yourself, and I really don't care. Like, people real deal base their values off of what you have. Like, oh yeah, you ain't got this, you ain't got that, you can't provide this for me, you don't provide that. So it's kind of like one of those things where it's just like do what you do that makes you happy, and because in the end of the day, you know, it's nobody else but yourself. Like, people only use you for whatever. You know what I mean? Like, if you meet a woman or you meet a guy and they say, what you do for a living, you be like, yo, man, I'm a professional hiker. They gonna be like, what the fuck? Like, that don't bring no money in. Like, oh yeah, like, because if you watch what you say, like, if you like to flip burgers at McDonald's and you say to a girl you flip burgers at McDonald's, they be like, okay, well, what else you trying to do? What else you trying to do? Yeah, I know that can't be your end goal because that's no ambition. You're a no ambition ass person, man. So that's foolishness to me. It's real foolishness, and I just feel like people should just go and do what they want to do. If that is what you want to do, if you do want to flip burgers, that's totally up to you. But it all correlates back to one another. Now that I think about it, people do base whether they mess with you based off of what you do for a living, if it's not lucrative. Like, I could be in the words of my boy Trevor, an underwater basket weaver, a professional, right? A professional underwater basket weaver. And you probably like, what the heck that is? It's somebody who wave a basket underneath the water. They weave baskets under the water. You probably be like, man, that don't make no money, man. How much money you make per hour? It don't matter how much I make per hour. It's none of your business, but I'm happy doing it. You know what I mean? Like, somebody ask me, like, you want to be a painter? Like, yeah, man, I enjoy it. I enjoy watching people paint. I enjoy that type of stuff. I enjoy painting myself. It's very expensive, and all that other stuff. But I mean, it is what it is. If you like what you like, hey, I spend that much money on some sneakers. Like, that's just what it is. But it doesn't matter. It shouldn't matter how much I make. Like, if that's your thing. Because I remember speaking to a woman who asked me how much I made, and I was like, I just told her straight, like, what does that got to do with anything? Like, what does that have to do with anything? Like, yeah, I had a great job. I told her, like, yo, I had this job, I had that job. Oh, money. You see the light in her eyes light up too, like, money. Then I'm like, oh yeah, well, now I do this, and it ain't nearly as much money as that, but I'm happy. I got my weekends. I can go visit my family. When my brother has a barbecue or some shit, I can follow through. When my friend has a graduation, I can go attend that. You know what I mean? Like, shit like that really means the most to me. And when I told her that, it's like the light in her eyes died. Like, nigga. Like, yo, like, what can you do for me? Like, what can you do for me? Can you buy me stuff? Like, can you buy me things? Like, no, I could teach you how to paint. We can go on a trail. See, and the thing is, I know women who cool with that. They're like, yo, you don't have to give me nothing. Like, walk a trail with me. I know women like that. Walk a trail with me. Talk to me. Talk to me deeply. Talk to me about things. Like, that type of shit is cool. You know what I mean? Like, oh, I can paint for you? Oh, yeah, please. Come over and paint for me. But, this new age of things is like, bro, like, you ain't got this type of job. You know what I'm saying? You can't provide for me. You can't give me these shoes. You can't give me that phone I want. You can't do none of that. I know a dude around the block who got money who can give me that. But is that authentic? It don't really matter if it's authentic. I'm having things. Sure, we're gonna name this one Havin Thangs. It's gonna be the name of this episode, Havin Thangs. And while I'm doing that right now, I'm popping my collar in here with Havin Thangs. But yeah, it's crazy. It's real crazy that we are judged as people based off of what we have, the job, the status. And it was one of those things this week where it was just like, damn, like, we really, like, I'm really judged off of what I can provide and the status of what I do for a living. Like, to be honest with you, man, like, I want to work on projects like Young Jew, man. That boy out here working with Nike. That's the dream job, man. Do some concept stuff, man. I can draw a little bit, shoot, but that's just me. But I know for a fact I'm not finna get stuck into, like, people like, oh yeah, if you invest this much time into this company, you'll make this much money. Like, I don't care about none of that. I don't care about investing no time into nothing and making a whole bunch of money working a job that I don't like That's why people go postal and commit suicide, and that's not really a funny thing to talk about because suicide is a real thing, and by no means am I trying to glorify that. But when you think about people committing suicide, it be these blue collar, $50,000 a year guys, So it's one of those things where it's just like you make all the money you want to make, but if you're not happy, it don't really matter. Now do it. So it's like, man, only certain people feel like that is important. Like, oh yeah, what you can buy and what your status is at your job. For me, it's just like, man, I'm going to do what I do. I can have 100 good jobs, and if I feel like it ain't working, I'm going to dip. I'm going to leave. No questions asked. I ain't got no kids. I ain't got nothing like that to worry about. Like, oh, yeah, if I leave, how my kids going to eat? I'm telling you, I can get 100 great jobs, $100 an hour, man. If I feel like as a human I could do more and do things that I love to do for a living, I'm going to do it. And that's where I'm at right now. And that's why I'm sitting back at the place I am right now, because I feel like right now is the most flexible room for me to maneuver how I want to maneuver. If I want to say, yo, I'm going to work on projects, I'm working on projects. With the other jobs, I couldn't work on projects. It was around the clock. And I'm glad I stepped away from them. My pockets was on full. My pockets was thick, man. My pockets was on full. But at the end of the day, it was one of those things where it was just like, it was more lucrative for me to step away from it. It was very lucrative for me to step away from it because my happiness was most important. I had bank account had commas in it, but I was calling my mom like I'm depressed. Like, son, you're making a lot of money. Why are you depressed? Then that's when I realized like money ain't everything, man. Like money is not everything. Especially if you have money and you're not happy. Like, I want to have money and be happy, man. I want them both. I don't want to just be like, oh yeah, I'm working at this job, I don't really like it, but I'm making a lot of money. I feel like my brother is in that situation where he's making a decent amount of money, but he just doesn't like what he's doing. Like, that shit is the most depressing thing you could possibly think of. Like, I remember those days. I remember being able to go walk into the store and buy this and buy that and buy this, but still being like, bro, like, I gotta go to work tomorrow. I gotta go to work. Like, yeah, I just bought this and it makes me monetarily happy, but man, I gotta go to work tomorrow, bro. That shit is weird. But that's where I'm at right now in life. Like, I will never be in that predicament again. Like I'm making average money, ain't all that great. It's enough for me to keep afloat for right now, but I got flexibility. I can do things. I can enjoy things a little bit. I ain't the most ballingest dude. I can't take you shopping. I can't buy you those red bottoms. I wouldn't do that even if I had all that money, to be honest with you. Yeah, to be real with you, I'm not one to trick unless I want to trick. Like, I don't let nobody. Like, I know there's guys out here who like to trick to get into women's panties. Like, oh yeah, I can get you this, I can get you that. I got a nice car. I mean, if you into that, you into that. I'm not judging you, but that just ain't me, man. Like, I'm into very subtle things, man. Very subtle things. Even if I was a millionaire, I wouldn't even do that then. Probably wouldn't even know. But it's one of those things where it's just like, man, do you for a living. Do you for a living. Having things will come, but do you for a living. Like, I feel like a lot of people are depressed and unhappy with what they do for a living. And some people are stuck in what they do because they have families. Like, I can't walk away from this. Like, how am I gonna pay you this and that? Like, I walked away from plenty of jobs and had bills, but when you're talking about a life, that's a whole nother thing. It's a whole nother cup of worms. So, if anybody's listening to this, that's where I'm at in life. I know some people out there who feel like I do. Definitely take the time out and think about it. And if you are in a project right now, and you working on things, you working on projects, man, keep moving. And I know a lot of people listening to this do be working on projects. And I understand that they probably don't want to do what they do for a living for the rest of their life. They probably want to do what makes them happy for a living, which is being writers and being trainers and doing websites and rapping. You know what I'm saying? I feel like with that, just go for it. Just continue to push. Continue to push, man. And that way you'll be doing what you love to do for a living. That means you're never working. You're always having fun because it's what you love to do. You always be having fun. You just be making money on the side. Just basically like getting money for free. So, man, to be real with you, I just wanted to come and chop it up with y'all for a moment. I know I kind of rambled on a little bit, because I'm dolo this time and I don't have nobody to go back and forth with. But I'm going to restate what I said in the first part of this episode. If you are creative, we're gonna call them creative. Like, I'm not gonna just say one thing and put y'all in a box. If you are a creative, please reach out to us. If you're listening, you can come on, you can chop it up, you can talk about what you do, we can go and dive into that. If you have a standpoint or a view, you can come in here and chop it up. We do not discriminate. We're not gonna bash you. If anything, we're gonna ask you questions like, why do you feel that way? You know what I'm saying? As if you have a stance. As if you have a stance. Some people don't really have stances on political things or social issues, but if you do and you want to chop it up, holler. And then we gonna kick it like a family. You know what I mean? We're gonna do it like that. But let me go ahead and close it out by shouting out the social medias at the Black Shift Group on Facebook, IG, YouTube, Podbean. I think we're on Google Play, and I think we're trying to work something out with Apple. We'll see how that roll. Did I forget anything? No, I think that's it. That's it. Yeah, that's it. And I think we're on Twitter too. I think, or if we're not on Twitter, we about to be on Twitter. But yeah, it's a Black Shift Group. I'm Granddad. I'm looking like a bum right now, you know what I'm saying? But I'm still kind of fresh if you think about it, you know what I'm saying? I got this little shirt on with these little shorts on. I'm just joking, man. I'll let y'all, man. Peace.